Natumai pale mko wazima. Na leo my focus has gone to Diamond and Zuchu. Everybody knows waliachana officially juzi, and Zuchu had to announce that walikuwa in a contract of 3 years, now it's over, and it's something they had an agreement upon. Diamond pia has gone out telling people that sahi hana mwanamke na akiwa naye atatangaza. So of course akiwa mtu ambaye tunamjua sana, a musician from Tanzania, a popular international, lazima we talk about this thing. Now, when I look at this, and especially looking at the plug yenye Zuchu alikuwa amebeba akisema about these disagreements, later on tuliona babake, the father was talking about labda walipelekana, walisukumana mpaka ikafika mwisho, kuvumilia akashindwa. And we are not quite sure about why. Of course, wenyewe kama hawajasema, we can only speculate. In another situation, we've seen songs coming out, and of course, Zuchu saying that anafaa kutibu. That is the pains of her love. Of course, wengine wamesema the recent song yenye Diamond alitoa, and with that dancer ndio imezua shida. But then I heard about Kaspool talking yesterday on another interview, and all he said was that so far I think these people have had separation for so many times, kila wakati, so we may not be sure kwamba actually it's final. Now, I also looked at something about like a comedy. Demo Facebook kawaida yake alikuwa anaongea kuhusu hili swala, na yeye alikuwa anasema angekuwa yeye angeachwa bila mtoto. But I know that's just a joke, because recently in an interview alisema she can't go into a marriage or a relationship with a child when she doesn't have much to bring on the table. Now, kwa wimbo mmoja wa Zuchu anasema kama matajiri wameachwa na yeye sufuri je. Now, I wonder why she's calling herself Sufuri. And of course, we know she has done a lot in music. Though together with Diamond, she made it, and she's still making it. If you look at the fans, of course, the reaction, some of them are cool, some are wondering, some are not believing it. But I think there is one quote that is very common in the Bible, that marriage is not for everyone. I hope you know that. So it's not always that when a relationship happens, then a marriage must happen. Like people were saying already, Ogobina and Demo Facebook should be married. Now, if you look at Giga amemwingilia sana Zuchu in her interviews to separation and how actually Zuchu feels. But I normally tell people, it doesn't matter what people think or what they say about whether you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter what people say, it's about you. If you are comfortable with what is happening currently, that's what matters, not about what people say. Because in ancient times, we've seen women or men getting into trouble, getting into marriages they don't want, just because people will think, will say. But relationships are things that come and go. And of course, that is why I love them on Facebook's reasoning. Recently, in an interview with Trudy Kitui, she said, before you walk into a relationship for a permanent score like marriage, then you have to think, what are you bringing on the table and what are the expectations? Now, I want you to think about many people have been in relationships and nothing has happened, or if it ever happened, they led to a breakup. Now, consider the example of Jackie Natuba. We've been talking about her. She's a popular actor. And of course, we recently had in an interview, she was sharing about the rejection she felt from childhood, and it has come up even up to her adulthood. She also rejected her daughter at some point. And generally in her marriage, she tried a lot, but it couldn't work. We also saw the situation of Bahati Boy. I think you know him. I don't know what happened of late. I've not checked on him, but there was almost something failing after a long time of try. Now we can get to another one that was revived. That was size 8. We thank God it was revived. But then what comes out clearly is we have to talk deeply into relationships. You know, if people think relationships must end in marriage and that they must be working, they are wrong. Because from the many incidences we've seen out there, it's not the situation. So I think Zuchu and Diamond have just made the right decision, if at all that was the agreement. Now matters your contract. I don't know how you think, you fans, should it be a way to go in Kenya, given that we've seen what we've seen in marriages that sometimes take a while and that later on they end up in disaster, one killing the other, children suffering and all that. We've also seen like Kanyare and so many other situations whereby marriages have ended wrongly, or relationships that didn't work. I want us to go deeper into more relationships that didn't work and learn from them. As I had said earlier, nilikuwa nasema Zuchu has come out clear, and that's very good, so that now that she's a celebrity and still growing up in the industry, people don't keep talking about why is Diamond not there. No. Like, if you consider currently wherever Ogobina is, people keep asking where them on Facebook is. I don't know why people think a relationship means the two of you should always be together, and why it must lead to marriage. Now, in my research, I conducted a research on several people, Africa, America, and across the world. And you realize that is not a must that when there is a relationship, it ends up in a marriage. Now, there are so many people, and in my list, I'll just give some, maybe with their photos there. There is Fallon and Reiki, who fell out after a long relationship. They have never been married. When we look at Paloma, Jimin, and Vinci, we also see the same. You look at Courtney Cox and Johnny McDade, you see the same. If you come back to Oprah Winfrey and Stedman, all of you know them. They never ended up in a relationship that led to marriage. Then we have Les Bibb and Sam Rockwell. Yeah, we didn't see the marriage coming. We have Maya Rudolph and Pan Thomas Anderson. It never worked. We have Lauren Graham and Peter Cruz. I'll just give pictures randomly, and you check at them, you realize nothing happened. If we look also in the Nollywood, it's a very great source of industry. Mtapata kwamba in Nigeria, there are people who swore never to be married. Kuna Genevieve Naji, Banky, Linda, Dibanj, and the list is endless. Shakira pia na Erasmus. If you come to the Kenyan celebrity world, and I don't know why people didn't, because it has come to me like a surprise. Kuna Maina Kageni mwenye alisema aliona it's not his thing. Betty Chalo alisema after divorce her thought about marriage changed. Andrew Kibe alisema marriage is not for him. Maina Kageni alisema he cannot commit to that. Obina alisema marriage to one person is a scam. I hope watu wa baby mnasikia. So when we come back to Zuchu and Diamond, of course tumeona picha nyingi, zingine zinaonyesha mama yake, zingine zinaonyesha father-in-law, and so many others. But remember, they were just in a relationship, not a marriage. And no wonder you saw there was no commitment, like having a baby and all that. Now, Michael Knowles tells us that he who finds a good wife will find happiness. So what does it mean? If you don't find a good one, then possibly there will be no proper end. We also have a common quote in Matthew 19:10-12, which indicates that people get married when they are mature enough, to live and move on. So grace and aptitude is required. So when you realize maybe you're in a relationship and the two of them are not coming, so you cannot commit to it. Now, Elizabeth Gilbert says that you may suffer if you end up just being married to a wrong person. We have Rita Rodgers, who says you do not have to get to marriage if friendship can't work. Barbara Angelos also says friendship is different from marriage. Frederick Nezich said that you don't have to force yourself into it. Now, I also wanted to check on why does it not work? Why sometimes do relationships fail to reach marriage? And I got so many aspects. One is selfishness. And of course, I saw something recently, someone saying people are self-centered. They are so much into themselves, cannot accommodate other people in their lives for long. Then we have insecurity, which happens most in relationships, people doubting, following phones and all that. And of course, that leads to no commitment at the end of it. Impatience. Maybe somebody wants to press for something, another one doesn't want. Then remember, marriage is like fingerprints. They can be the best of best or beautiful or very ugly. We have infidelity, which is very common. Of course, it leads to even divorces and relationships that can never end in marriage. Then we have bad behavior. Generally, bad behavior comes from cleanliness to how they speak, how they relate, how they take care of each other. You remember this video we saw about Obina crying and showing how the baby mama, one of them, was very violent. So, of course, that cannot lead into a permanent marriage. We have addictions. You remember Kothe showed something about the previous last relationship. Then lack of commitment, of course. We've seen many women who have been wasted on men because either the woman or man are not committed. We have chronic arguments. If you keep arguing with somebody, then there is no need to settle down with them. It won't be beautiful later. Conflicting goals. Maybe I want to pursue something different from what another one is pursuing. So how can it end in a marriage? Narcissism. Narcissism is common. We've seen even women who've died under men because of this. Trust issues, money. Maybe somebody does not actually have much as expected, either women or men. Then communication breakdown. If you reach a time when you cannot even talk to each other, then how do you marry somebody you won't talk to? Yeah, that is what Frederick Nezich advises. We have hostility or toxic people. I don't know whether DJ Mo falls under that, but I am cool about this. I won't judge. Boredom. You know, sometimes you can be with somebody for some time and just get bored. And there are people who don't have that excitement in one person for long. Either because they are so far, they are so much close every time, and so you get bored with this person. You remember the situation whereby a given man in America decided to marry another because they were bored with the wife. Then we have misdirected anchor, whereby you are directing your anchor towards your wife. For those of you who are watching Kizito, you know him. Then there are so many things, by the way. So, as for Zuchu, I just give you your flowers and diamond, because I know if you decided to separate. And of course, diamond, we know you have married so many. Na kama chaguo lako ni kwamba utakuwa ukibadilisha sana maisha yako, utafanya nini? Zuchu, I hope you're not hurt. Na kama unaweza pick na uendelee na maisha, labda utapata mwingine, because sometimes a relationship just creates a platform for us to see others, an umbrella, like we get to find out what more do we need in our life. It helps us discover new restaurants. Yeah. So nobody should stick in one relationship just because the society expects marriage at the end of it. And I'm not actually working against the society expectations, but I'm working in reality. The reality of current times, if you look at America, you look even in Africa, we are lying to ourselves if we think a relationship just starts and it must end in a marriage. If you read even books like An Artist of the Floating World, you will find a girl here, the daughter of Ono. She really believes, Naruko believes that she will be married to a given man, but it ends up she just walks away and she finds a better man in Dr. Saito's family. So marriages are not like people cannot decide for us. So demo Facebook, don't be pushed by anybody. Zuchu, also do your thing. If you can find somebody maybe better you want to settle with, the better. But my question is now, if we allow contracts and like people holding on getting babies because of such marriages, what will happen to the society? That's my question to you as the audience. Stay tuned to this channel and be safe. Bye bye for now.